嵐の夜に
嵐の夜に
Arashi no Yoru Ni, or One Stormy Night, is a movie based on a series of picture books by Yuichi Kimura and illustrated by Hiroshi Abe. The series would go on to earn several awards and become one of the pair's most popular works. This would eventually lead to the making of an animated adaptation, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Released in December of 2005, the movie would follow the storyline throughout the course of the 6 released books, retelling the tale of Gabu and Mei, a pair of animals who, after being caught in a rainstorm, would find themselves trapped in a pitch-dark barn together. Neither can see or smell each other. The two of them ride out the storm by talking and learn that they both share various things in common. They both love to eat, they both lost their mothers at a young age, and most importantly, they both freaking hate thunderstorms. After the storm passes, the two new acquaintances plan to meet in front of the barn the next day for a picnic. They both leave separately, eager to see each other the next day using the code phrase Arashi no Yoru Ni. The next morning comes, and the two reunite after shouting their password. Then they see each other for the first time. One is a small mountain goat, and the other is a tall, lanky wolf. Almost as if nothing was wrong with this whole scenario, the two new friends go off on their picnic. After a failed jump leads to the wolf, who's named Gabu, which is the Japanese onomatopoeia for the sound effect of eating, losing his kerchief of lunch, the two continue on their way with the goat, who is named Mei, which is also the Japanese interpretation for the bleat that goats make, leading the way to their spot. As Gabu is following behind, completely bummed he lost his lunch, he gets a sight of his new companion. A very suggestive sight. The music doesn't help either. Gabu fights the urge to chow down on his new friend, and the two eventually make it to their hilltop destination. The two continue to talk and relate even more. Mei has his lunch, and Gabu takes a nap, trying desperately to fight the urge not to eat his new buddy. The two break their meeting after a shared nap, and just as Gabu is about to pounce on his new friend out of hunger, he shifts to ask when's the next time they will be meeting. From there, the movie chronicles the pair's adventures and bonding, all while maintaining a veil of secrecy from their respective packs. So, where do we start to talk about this movie? Well, first, the animation. While the movie uses traditional animation throughout the film, there are bits that use CGI, mostly for objects like falling rocks and rushing water. It's rough, but it works. The animation and details for environments are really well done. The lush green of the forests and leaves on the trees, the fine details in the fields, even at 480p, it looks really good. The animation for the characters is also really great. The designs, to the ways that they move, the faces and eyes, even slight changes you can see as the movie goes on. Take Gabu for instance. The first couple parts show him looking very menacing and intimidating, but as the two spend more time with each other, he takes a much more softer appearance, almost cartoony with his eyes open wider and his mouth showing his bared fangs less often. The movie score is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, right next to October Sky and Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. The composer is Kisuke Shinohara, and according to his IMDb, he's also done scores for... wait, what's that? Concrete Encased High School... oh god. Okay, so back to Arashi. The voice cast is made up of some familiar faces, depending on how well you're up on your Nipponji. Gabu is voiced by Shidos Nakamura. If you were an edgy teen in 2006, you may have heard him as the voice of Ryuk from Death Note. His acting makes Gabu sound raspy, but not enough to make him seem intimidating. I mean, he has his moments, like when he laughs, but he's still pretty good.
そうでやんすか？まあちょっと険しいけどいいところでやんすよ。
Mei, on the flip side, was VO'd by Hiroki Nayamiya. His career was spent mostly doing dramas, but his performance here is awesome. He makes Mei sound really gentle and sweet.
じゃあお弁当にしましょうか。 あ、落としちゃったんですよね。私のお弁当半分食べます？やっぱりお肉じゃなきゃダメですよね。
That sound profile may or may not have led to my accompaniment to any gentle-sounding male character to sound just like him, which may or may not have also led to my taste in furry femboys. Funny enough is that both Narumiya and Nakamura have done work for the Yakuza series. Naka was the main bad guy in the third game, and Nari was one of the main characters in the fourth game, my boy, Masayoshi Tanamura. Not so funny is that Narumiya's career was cut short after allegations of cocaine use. Japan looks down on people who abuse drugs. Not so much for people who buy DVDs with young girls in them. Speaking of bad guys, Riki Takeuchi does the voice for the antagonist, Giro. Take Scar from The Lion King and make him the chairman of a Yakuza clan, and you got Giro.
風向きが悪くて匂いが分かりにくいが間違いなくヤギが近くにいるはずだ。
And that Yakuza profile goes to Takeuchi himself. The dude does the tongue rolls, has the gruff, and just sounds like somebody Kiryu Kazuma would get into a fight with. The rest of the cast is pretty good as well, but these are the standouts. Arashi no Yoru Ni would go on to gross nearly 2 billion yen both in Japan and Taiwan, as well as going head-to-head against The Girl Who Leapt Through Time in the Japan Academy Film Prize for Animation of the Year in 2007. Shame it didn't win, but still, not too shabby. The film was never officially released in English, but there is a sub available as well as one of the most interesting things about this movie, a fan-made English dub. The Stormy Night redub project was a team of amateur voice actors and sound engineers that got together to make a complete redub of the movie. I've watched it a couple of times and it's quite good. It's primarily done by somebody named Tustin Gilmore McAfee. Yep, one dude for nearly every friggin' character in the movie. You might think that this would be a clusterfuck, and in a way it is, but it's also pretty impressive. They've since broken up, but the redub is available on YouTube as well as a song made for the dub to replace the license track at the end of the movie. They even got a go-ahead by TBS, Tokyo Broadcasting Station, to do the project in the first place. Seriously, the quality of the VO is one thing.
What's wrong? Tell us what happened.
The wolves attacked. They came all the way to Crumbling Hills.
Crumbling Hills?
But the whole scenario is absolutely fascinating. You want to know what else is fascinating? The books had a TV adaptation as well. Did I say fascinating? What I meant to say was irksome. Produced in 2012, Arashi no Yoru Ni Himitsu no Tomodachi, or One Stormy Night, Secret Friends, was produced by a company in Singapore. It was a CGI adaptation that was also simulcast in English. They also changed the characters, making Gabu a freaking dork and Mei a female goat. A female goat whose English voice actress makes me question how they thought that acting could pass any type of scrutiny.
I was thinking, would you like to get together for lunch tomorrow?
Why are you speaking so slow?
Oh yeah, they also cut out half the damn movie's plot.
You blew it!
Do yourself a favor, just skip watching the show. The studio involved focused so heavily on the demographic for the books that they lost track of what made them and the movie great regardless of the viewer's age. I know it feels silly to get hung up on, but my disappointment with it was and still is immeasurable. So why the passion/autistic rage at this? Well, I said before that this meant a lot to me, and now we can get to my favorite part of the movie. Eventually, the two friends have their relationship exposed by their respective packs. The solution to this issue? Use one to gather information about the other. The two meet up again, but this time under the watchful eye of everyone, as well as the entire forest. After nearly falling into a raging river, they come clean about the situation to each other and elect to run away by throwing themselves into the river to get away from their packs. It's stupid, but it works, and the two manage to get away. Afterward, they plan to escape to the other side of a mountain to reach a green forest where the two can be together without fear. They're hopeful, although being together constantly does have its downsides, mostly with Gabu's appetite and Mei's disdain for it. This squabble is short-lived, though, as they're discovered by Gabu's old pack. The two barely escape and continue their journey higher into the mountains. However, a snowstorm awaits them, rough enough for any animal to get through, but even tougher for ones going through without food. In the midst of a raging snowstorm, Mei collapses from exhaustion. Gabu builds a small dugout for the two to ride out the storm, but it's getting worse. Mei is getting weaker, and Gabu is getting hungrier. Mei, seeing this as the possibility of their deaths, offers Gabu to eat him. to get off the mountain and live. Gabu vehemently refuses to eat his friend, even to the demands of his stomach, cursing why the both had to be born the way that they were. Mei tells Gabu that even if he dies, he's willing to do so because he truly cares about him. He has a friend he's willing to die for. I can't tell you what this scene does to me. The first time I saw it, I fell to pieces. The acting and the delivery, the track Our Parting Meal, fucking everything can bring a grown spurg like me to his knees. It's fantastic and still acts like a punch to the solar plexus to this day. This is why the show pissed me off as much as it does. This scene is something that transcends the story above some simple kids movie. It shows how far someone is willing to go to help their friend, even if it means sacrificing their life to feed them or protect them from harm. I'm not going to spoil the rest leading up to the ending, so just go watch it. Come back and tell me I was right. One Stormy Night is a movie that means a lot to me. It's not deep or philosophical like a Kubrick film or some other piece of Hollywood trash. For me, it's more about mood improvement. It's a movie that came around at a good time for me. It sounds stupid to think that about a movie, but why not? Can't there be something for a person to cling to? Can't there be something that comes around and has an emotional impact that continues to be felt with someone years down the line? That's what Arashi is for me. It's Soma in media form. I can name a few other things that have done the same for me over the years. Changeling Tale for one, Kon Gao's Finding Paradise before that. I'm sure other people have felt the same thing about different stuff. Books, movies, TV shows, music albums. The idea of being in the right state of mind to have something come along and blow you away. That's what Arashi no Yoru Ni means to me. And maybe it might mean the same to you.